Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas, happy holidays, everybody. We are back. It is Max, your lovely and trueless, fearless leader of Winged Octopus. Not really, but yes, I am Santa Claus. I see everything. I know if you've been naughty or nice. With me tonight are Tyler and Kayla, and guest joining us is Jake. We're going to bring you the USA World Juniors. World Juniors, sorry, thank you. World Junior show. This is preview for Team USA. This is episode 1 of our coverage. Jake, since you are the guest tonight, how are you doing tonight, sir?
Oh, I'm pretty good. I've been waiting to talk about this subject for a few weeks now.
Well, we're glad to have you. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you giving up your time on this Wednesday night to join us. Kayla, up in Detroit, Michigan. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing really well. I'm excited for the World Juniors to start. The Red Wings are just depressing me, and I can't deal with them anymore right now. So, I mean, bring on USA Hockey and bring on the World Juniors.
Yes. Well, we're not going to go there with that Red Wing topic at all. Tyler, out in Boston, how are you doing tonight, sir?
Doing pretty good. Excited for the World Juniors. Excited for a team that might be able to actually score on the power play.
Yes. The power play jokes. The power play joke.
A team that gives a shit. How about that?
Really quick before we get into this, just in case everyone didn't know, Jimmy Howard died last night. We don't know how bad, but he died.
First game for Nick Jensen, right?
Yeah, Nick Jensen. Yeah, hell of a game for Nick Jensen. First, he can't debut in Carolina because I guess they don't know how to make ice, and then he takes out our goalie who has been keeping us afloat so far this season. So, overall, just I'm in a very depressed mood. I'm be thankful I'm online right now and not super drunk. But anyway, Tyler, we're going to get into this USA World Junior coverage. But before we start, Tyler, would you like to shout out our sponsors for Winged Octopus?
Yes, actually. So we would like to just give out a sponsor or a shout out to our sponsor. So be sure to go to worldwidestubs.com for tickets to all sporting events and other events, or concerts and other events. Use promo code BARDOWN for select percent off of any purchase for only for a limited time. So basically after Christmas, and then that's the promo code. So like I said, limited time offer. And our next sponsor is Original Sticks. You definitely want to check them out. They make cell phone cases out of recycled hockey sticks, so they definitely make some really cool stuff. They actually partnered up with Red Wings' own Danny DeKaiser on a clothing line, so you can follow them on Twitter at Original Sticks. And then finally, they're not a sponsor of ours, but we're pretty good friends with these guys, and they've been really good to all the people here on the Winged Octopus, and friends of ours too. So spread the word and help make the dojo the official adopted nickname for the new Red Wings arena. Visit dojodetroit.com for apparel. Also, sauce them a follow on Twitter at dojodetroit. So those are pretty much our sponsors. We are very appreciative of everything they've done for us. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Tyler. And Kayla, before we actually get started this, you have one last special announcement for a sponsor. Have at it.
Yes, not really a sponsor so much, but USA Hockey, their Twitter account tonight, they actually tweeted out something pretty cool, I thought. And if you go to usahockeyfoundation.com, you can actually donate a hockey stick to children in need of, just a hockey stick. Honestly, it's that simple. One hockey stick, it only costs a little bit over $12. I think it was like $12.60 or something like that. It's really just to help, not just promote the game of hockey here in the States, but also, just give to children in need that can't really afford, what those of us can afford in life. And it's just a really cool thing that I thought they're doing. So, if you care about USA Hockey a lot and you can, afford a little extra money to spend, definitely, check that site out. Again, it's usahockeyfoundation.com, and the hashtag is gift a stick on Twitter.
All righty. Thank you very much, Kayla. It's a great cause. I hope everyone signs up to do it. I know our own Kayla just actually did it tonight. So there we go. Please donate if you can. But here we go. 2017 Team USA World Junior coverage. We're going to begin right now with Jake. He's going to give us a quick rundown of this tournament. And Jake, the floor is yours.
All right. I've obviously been watching the World Junior since 2007. But for those who aren't aware, it's players under 20 it's determined by birth year. So if you were born in 1997 or later, you are eligible for this tournament. I was born in '96, so this is my first year that I am not eligible. I have to think I was snubbed the previous 20 years. No, so the two, there are 10 countries in the tournament this year: U.S., Canada, Czechs, Russians, Swedes, Finns, Switzerland, Slovakia, Denmark, and Latvia. And they're in two groups of 5. They play in a round robin format to start off in the preliminary round. Then the top 4 teams in each group go to the quarterfinals, and it's a single elimination tournament from there. It's, I love the Stanley Cup. I love the Olympics. I love the Frozen Four. But for just sheer excitement and sheer opportunity, I think the World Juniors is the best there is.
I would definitely agree with that.
I definitely agree with that. And the other thing I would say about the tournament is you sometimes, like, just as a hockey fan in general, you come into this tournament and, like, especially if it's your first time, you come in not knowing what to expect, not knowing any of the players, and 1 or 2 games in, and by the end of the tournament, you know exactly who those players are. You know who the best players are in the tournament. You know the best line in the tournament. Heck, you know the nickname for the best line in the tournament. And it's just something that you never forget. I mean, I remember Jake McCabe in 2013. I remember John Carlson, I believe it was 2009. I remember John Tavares was the biggest in 2009. Actually, I think Carlson was 2007. But, like, seriously, some of these players, you never forget their World Juniors, how good they were. Like, Braden Shen was one of the best World Junior players I ever seen. And he's starting to come into his own in the NHL, which makes me pretty happy, to be honest.
The U.S.'s all-time leading World Junior scorer is none other than Jordan Schrader. So that's a bit of a mixed bag.
Well, that's
I actually remember him. I remember him pretty well, actually. Was that 2017 or 2009?
Schrader, who played for my beloved Minnesota Gophers, he played in 3 World Juniors. The first when he was 17 years old. It was. And he passed Jeremy Roenick to be the all-time leading scorer for the team.
Jeez.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
Interesting. That is very interesting. Really quick here, just the breakdown of the 10 teams, as Jake mentioned. In Group A, we've got Denmark, Finland, Switzerland, the Czech Republic, and Sweden. And Group B, United States, Canada, Russia, Latvia, and Slovakia. So really quick, just quickly, 30 seconds round table. Group A, who do you see as like the top dog in that league, and who do you see, or division or group? And then who's like the dark horse you see in that group?
You want me to start on this?
Sure, Jake. I'll let you start since you are our guest tonight.
Well, I mean, the favorite for this entire tournament has to be the Swedes. They're not missing any players due to NHL constraints, and they had a line at the under 24 nations in November that just ripped up the tournament with Leafs second rounder Carl Grundstrom, and then eligibles Elias Anderson and Elias Pettersson. My dark horse for the tournament would actually be the Swiss, because with, top draft prospects Nolan Patrick and Tim Liljegren not available, the draft spotlight's going to fall on Nico Hischier of the Halifax Mooseheads, and he's going to make Switzerland scare some people.
All right. We got Jake's picks in. Kayla, your top dog and dark horse.
Honestly, for Group A, I would say top dog. I mean, you can't go wrong with Sweden. I mean, like Jake said, they have a stacked roster. They're good on, their forwards are good. Their goaltending is good. Their defense is good. Sweden's been like one of those, like, they just kind of sneak up on you the last like 5 years, like out of nowhere, Sweden will just randomly like take that gold medal from you or that silver medal from you kind of team, I feel like. Finland, though, you can never count out the Finns lately. I mean, especially with last year. The only difference is this year, they're missing their core group of guys that they had last year, like Patrick Laine, for example. But, I mean, you can't ever count them out. I would definitely agree with Jake though. The dark horse is Switzerland. The reason I say that is because I remember last year in the World Juniors, I remember they came out and it was the game against Canada, I believe. And I made a joke and I was like, I thought Switzerland was supposed to be neutral, meaning like, because they came out and they were just hitting left and right. And I don't think I've ever seen a team come out playing so physical and such like physically demanding hockey ever before since I've been watching the World Juniors. Canada, yes, we expect that from Canada, but not Switzerland. I was like, who are these guys, So, yeah, I would definitely say that they're my dark horse. Did you get to say your group A, your group B, Jake?
Are we going to group B yet? I thought we were going through group.
Yeah, I don't know.
yeah, you can do them both if you want. That's usually how we do it. My bad.
All right, well, let Tyler handle group A first. And
there we go.
All right, Tyler. Group
I guess
A.
we'll just stick with the way it works. So, okay, Group A, I guess I would go with. How can you go wrong with the team that won it all? I know they lost Line. I know they lost Puliharvi, and I know they lost Sebastian Aho, the best line in the tournament last year. But how can you go wrong with the Finns? I mean, Vili Saariarvi, obviously, and then you got Eli Tolvanen, and then you also got Uelevi as well. So they're definitely my pick to win that group. I mean, obviously, Sweden is the favorite pick, and everyone likes the Swedes, and they're a loaded team. But when the Finns and the Swedes play each other, it's honestly, it's like every other rivalry. It could go either way, and that's what I would say about Group A. And then for my dark horse, I would have to go with Switzerland. I mean, I don't want to be piggybacking off everyone, but I mean, the Swiss are always one of those teams that they surprise you. They do. They surprise you. They come out. They play hard. And we're looking for that team to take a step one of these years. One of these years, they're going to end up in the finals. I don't think it'll be this year, but one of these years, the Swiss are going to end up in the finals. In the gold medal, I should say.
Fair enough. Bold statements, but fair enough. All right, we're going to rotate. We'll keep it with you there, Tyler. Group B, top dog and dark horse.
Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news here, but how can you go wrong with the Canadians? I mean, Dylan Strome already played in the NHL. They have a lot of players coming back, like Tomas Chabot and Matthew Barzal. I mean, how can you go wrong with Team Canada? Obviously, it's a toss-up between Canada, Russia, and the United States. And then as for dark horse in this group, I mean, I'd have to say Slovakia because I don't see Latvia doing anything. So, I mean, that's really where I sit with that. But I think ultimately, the United States, it hinges on that game, the game that we're going to talk about in a little bit on Saturday. The Canada-USA game on Saturday after Christmas. So I think the United States has a shot to beat them, which they do. They did last year. But it's going to come down to those three. One of those three is going to win that group, obviously. But, I mean, like I said, one of those three. No Latvia, no Slovakia, no way.
Well, Tyler, you're wrong a little bit there. Latvia is going to be there to represent. That's all they're going to do.
Well, yes, exactly.
They're there representing. That's about as far as they'll go. Kayla, top dog and dark horse in Group B.
Oh, man. I mean, top dog. I mean, yeah, we can obviously say Canada because it's hard to go against Canada when it comes to any kind of hockey tournament whatsoever. I mean, they've proven time and time again they're like the best hockey nation. But at the same time, just not to make any Canadians that might be watching right now mad, just want to throw out there, when it comes to the World Juniors, Canada's kind of on the same level as every other big, country, in this thing. I mean, they have been for a while now. I mean, out of the past, 6 years, there's been five different medalists. So, I mean, hey, like, it could be Canada, but I mean, I think the U.S. actually has a shot at this year. I mean, everything that I've heard basically about this roster, I mean, it's stacked. The GM is doing what the GM should have done at the World Cup this year, and that's actually put the best players available on ice instead of just putting like the toughest or the most grittiest players on the ice. So, I mean, I don't know. I guess I would say Team USA. It might be the homer pick, obviously, but, you can't count out Team Canada either. For the dark horse, I I mean, I guess I would agree definitely again, with Tyler, like, Latvia, I'm sorry, I'm glad to see that they always manage to, be in this tournament, and that's great and all. And they do pretty well. It's not like they, yeah, sure, the fans at home might laugh or might be like, oh, they got, cream, 7-1. But I mean, what do you expect? It's Latvia, I mean, they're only going to get better. They can't get any worse. So I guess I would say Slovakia. But then at the same time, I would also say Russia's probably a dark horse because no one's really been talking about like Russia being a big threat, this year at the World Juniors. They're just kind of, oh, it's Russia, kind of just like people say, oh, it's Sweden, oh, it's Finland. We kind of group them in with us, but no one's actually saying they're going to win the gold. So I don't know. I would just say Russia, maybe Russia's going to like pull a big upset. Who knows?
I mean, I'm just going to go out and say this with full bias because I am an American. But I really love what USA Hockey did this year. I know the defensive core is a little thin outside of McAvoy, Lindgren, Fox, those guys. But I think the forwards and goaltending, Tyler Parsons looks like the starter. And all the great forwards finally not going for grit, finally not snubbing the Kyle Connors of this year, even though Connor's not eligible for this tournament. But last year it really pissed me off what USA Hockey did. This year I really think the U.S. has the best group of forwards in the tournament, and I think they're going to come out on top of Group B. Now, my dark horse, a couple years ago, Slovakia had a bronze medal run largely as the result of goaltending with Dennis Godla. This year they have Adam Huska in net. He's at the University of Connecticut. He's a Ranger draft pick. And I've watched him some of the year with UConn. And if Slovakia is going to repeat that performance, they're going to need another great performance in goal. And I think Huska's very capable of giving shooters from the U.S., Canada, Russia fits.
Interesting. Only time will tell. This tournament.
I got one more thing to say. Actually, I think the only way the Russians really have a shot at winning gold is if Ilya Samsonov steals the entire tournament.
I think Samsonov is clearly the best goalie in the tournament.
He's a Capitals draft pick, correct?
He's a first rounder.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
He's going to be in Washington sooner or later. I really like his game.
So you think they'll take him over Holtby?
I mean, that's a hard thing to do, but I think he'll at least get a job as a backup within the next 3 years.
Okay. Fair enough.
Really quick before we actually get into our in-depth Team USA preview, a couple players to watch. Who we watching, guys?
I mean, if you're a draft fan and you're not happy with the way your team is going, it's kind of thin this year knowing that the two top prospects are unavailable due to injuries suffered. But I really like Nico Hischier, and I think he can be a top 3 to 5 pick in this draft. And he's going to make Switzerland look really fun and going to make them scare some of the teams in their group.
Thank you, Jake. Kayla, Tyler, any players to watch on your end?
Yeah, I'm going to start with Alex Nylander. I would say I really liked his game. I seen him play last year in the World Juniors, and he was really good. I believe he was a 17-year-old last year at the World Juniors with the full cage and everything. And I really like his game. I actually like to see him take a step forward. And, obviously we just talked about Ilya Samsonov, so I definitely want to see him. He's definitely another player to watch. And then I think the biggest one that we already kind of talked about was Dylan Strome. He's already has NHL experience, and so Dylan Strome should be far and away the best player in the tournament.
Anyone you have, Kayla?
I would go with the Switzerland goalie, who's also a Red Wings prospect, I believe. And it's Joran van Pottelberg. And I just remember seeing him last year, and I remember I'm a goalie girl. Anyone that knows me, I have a thing for goalies. So I just remember watching last year. He really was stealing like the show, and he was stealing some games for Switzerland too, I believe. And so, I mean, I would watch out for him definitely.
That's not true all the way. Kayla does have a secret crush on James Neal. So in case
That's a story for another time.
In case you can't get to,
Yeah.
in case you can't win the goalie thing, just remember James Neal. But anyway, all right, here it is, the big important part of the show here. Team USA breakdown, full coverage. Here we go. Jake, would you want to start us off with the roster breakdown?
All right. Well, currently the U.S. is in a game against Switzerland, a pre-tournament game. The current score is 3-1 USA. So they're gonna make the final cuts. They have 3 cuts to make, 2 forwards, 1 defenseman after tonight's game. So the final roster is not complete yet. I guess I'll start with the goaltenders. We have 3 very capable goaltenders. Tyler Parsons, the Michigan native from the London Knights. Joe Woll at BC, Jake Ottinger at BU, both with the U.S. development team last year in Plymouth. I got to see Woll at BC when Minnesota visited there, and I was sitting in front of Jake Ottinger, so kind of a connection there. I think any of the 3 is a capable starter. Woll and Ottinger are eligible for next year's tournament and will be battling for their starting job there. But I think you got to give the edge to Parsons with what he's done in the Memorial Cup, with the edge and experience with that summer showcase 35 saves on 36 shots game against Canada in August. And what he's doing tonight, I really think he's the number 1 guy this year. On defense, it's a little thinner. Charlie McAvoy is at BU is expected to go about 30 minutes a night like Zach Werenski did last year. Behind him, you have a bunch of younger guys, some 98s like Ryan Lindgren at Minnesota, Adam Fox at Harvard, Chad Chris, the returner from BU. Also some 97s who are expected to play key roles. Caleb Jones, Seth's younger brother for the Portland Winterhawks, Casey Fitzgerald at BC, and then you have some depth guys, Jack Ashan, homer pick from St. Cloud, and Joe Ciccone from the University of Michigan. Up front, it's a very deep roster. They really chose the 16 best forwards available, even with, Austin Matthews, Matthew Tkachuk, Christian Fisher, not made available by their NHL teams. The captain of the team is Luke Cunnin at the University of Wisconsin. He captained the U18 team a couple years ago. I mean, you have some top NHL talent like Clayton Keller, like Colin White, Jack Roslovic, Logan Brown. All of them are centers. You also have on the wings Tage Thompson, the super scorers from the OHL, Jeremy Bracco, Alex DeBrincat, Joey Anderson from Duluth, Eric Foley from Providence, Kiefer Bellows from BU, Troy Terry from Denver, Tanner Lazinski from Ohio State, and the kind of under the radar pick who no one expected in the summer didn't show up at the camp, Patrick Harper, the freshman from BU who was playing high school in Connecticut last year. So those are the 26 players currently on the roster. North Dakota's Brock Besser, who was a returner, was originally on the roster, but he hurt his wrist and he's having surgery instead of participating at the World Juniors, which is a big loss on the right wing side for Bob Motzko and company. Is that everything?
I believe so. I mean, I just got to say really quick, I am so impressed by your knowledge of all of these players. I mean, it's amazing to me that you know all these players and know so much about them. And I just want to say, I know, there's been, U.S. players have been, in college leagues for years now, and it's just going to continue to be that way. It looks like that's the route that is just forever going to be. But I mean, it's very impressive how so many are from a, Boston University and, I mean, like all in that one area. I know Tyler's getting excited about that.
BU has 7 players on this team, and I think in the modern day that might be a record. I'm gonna have to.
I was gonna ask you, do you know at the top of your head or not if that's like a record? Is there a record of most? I mean, if you don't, it's fine. I don't know the answer.
Top of my head, I want to say in the '80s, back when there were like fewer dominant teams, there were similar like discrepancies with people. I don't know, just in case a Minnesota guy was the coach or a Michigan or Boston area guy.
Yeah.
Nowadays we have better scouting than we had in recent years, so like we can cover the bases and we can extend into Canada for our scouting.
Well, that's good, definitely. Tyler, anything you want to add? I mean, you're from Boston.
I mean, I'd be crazy not, as much as it's hard to see that McAvoy went to. Well, is going to end up playing for the Boston Bruins. It sucks because he's played at BU, and I've really gotten to like him even at the tournament last year. He's obviously my player to watch. I really want to see him get good. I mean, even if it is with the Bruins, I'm proud of players that end up going to play for BU and then end up playing in the NHL, whether it be anyone, Shattenkirk or, any of those kind of players. And we just actually had Grizzlick, who also played in the World Juniors, who also played at BU, who was also played for the Bruins a few nights ago. So you do see the development in this tournament. And that's the one thing I stress to these people that are becoming hockey fans or just want to broaden their horizons and become fans of more than just the NHL. Like, this tournament is something where, like, it's not like high school hockey where you're not going to see any of these kids play college. You're going to see these guys play at the next level, like almost guaranteed. I mean, it may not be all of them, but you're going to see a lot of these guys play at the next level. And that's just the biggest thing I can stress to people about this tournament, especially people watching this right now. Give it a shot. It's a tournament that if you give it a chance and you sit there and watch the hockey, number one, it's good hockey. Number two, they're playing for the name on the front, not the logo on the front, not the name on the back. And it's just like you see these guys, like they score a goal and they're showing the name on the front, and it's like it's not like the NHL where you're playing for money. You're not playing for money. You're playing, to make money. It's kind of like college football in a way, but just better because it's a shorter tournament. Everything's on the line right then and there. That's what's great about it.
I did some research on the 2013 tournament during the lockout year when the U.S. won gold, and 18 of the 23 players have made their NHL debuts since then.
Wow, that's a lot.
That's insane. That was a good team.
That was a good team.
Yeah.
They had Tyler Johnson.
There was Seth Jones and Jacob Trouba, Alex Galchenyuk.
I thought Tyler Johnson was on that team.
He was 2010.
2010. Oh, yeah. They had Galchenyuk. They had
John Gibson was the goalie.
Oh yeah, Gaudreau, John Gibson. Mm-hmm. What's they have? Jake McCabe. I mentioned him earlier.
McCabe was the captain.
Yeah, McCabe was the captain. You're right. There was a few other BU players on that team too, wasn't there? I'm trying to think if there was.
The only Minnesota guy was Mike Riley.
Mike Riley, that's right. That team was loaded. The more I think about it, that team
was on the team.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yep, Gostisbehere. Ghost. He's like one of the best USA defensemen right now in the NHL. I mean, and that's saying a lot, I mean, he could maybe potentially be the greatest USA defenseman of his era. You never know. That's something I kind of just wanted to add up a few things to Tyler's point about this tournament that, maybe a lot of hockey fans don't know. If you're not really interested in, World Juniors, or you never gave it a shot, but you're thinking about it, I think you really should try it. I mean, this is the future of the NHL. These are a bunch of kids, yes, but at the same time, I mean, the Olympics are one thing. We see those guys all the time in the National Hockey League. We see the Crosbys, the Ovechkins, all of them. We see all those guys. But, this is like the first like stepping stone, I want to say, like the first big stage for a lot of the future of the NHL. And that's what's really cool, I think, about it. I mean, you look back and you remember, oh yeah, I remember seeing that guy in that one, the year they won the gold medal, you remember things like that. I think it's pretty cool too. I just want to really quick give a shout out to the goalie, Tyler Parsons, because he's from Chesterfield, Michigan, and that's where I work. So, I mean, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, Parsons was actually named to the preliminary roster last year, but he didn't make the final cut.
Maybe he has something to prove now this year,
Definitely. That's definitely a good point. He definitely has something to prove.
Mm-hmm.
I would say the biggest thing about this whole tournament that I've ever seen is like it's gone from a tournament that's been played in like little arenas in Western Canada, little WHL arenas in Western Canada, to this big tournament a few years ago where you had the two projected first and second overall picks playing each other on New Year's Eve, USA and Canada, in the Bell Center. Connor McDavid against Jack Eichel. And then you had Dylan Larkin, who was picked by the Red Wings, there too. And he actually, I believe, outplayed Eichel in that game. So, I don't know.
I mean, next year they're taking it outside to New Era Field in Buffalo. And I'm already trying to get my tickets to go.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be attending that for sure.
I'm going to try my hardest to attend that because that would be a dream come true for me.
I don't know where I'll be yet, so I'm not going to commit or not commit yet. But a really quick question, guys, about Team USA. Are there any big key injuries that this team is facing right now?
I'll take that one. Brock Besser, one of the best players in college hockey at the University of North Dakota, returner from the top 9 last year, Vancouver first rounder. He hurt his wrist in a game in November. And, there were rumors, is he going to play? Is he going to not play? And he elected recently to have surgery, and he's going to miss the tournament. And even though right wing is the U.S.'s deepest position, you don't easily replace someone like Brock Besser.
Yeah, definitely not. Brock Besser was someone I was actually looking forward to seeing play in this tournament because of the way he plays. I mean, I've seen him play at the University of North Dakota. And, he stands out. He's one of those players that stands out. And I know the United States brought the best players that they could have, but Brock Besser would have definitely added to that. And they're definitely going to miss him, I would say.
And another right wing the U.S. is missing is Christian Fischer. Now, Fischer is with the AHL's Tucson Roadrunners. Usually, NHL players don't go to this tournament, but NHL teams will loan their AHL players like the Winnipeg Jets did with Jack Roslovic, but for some reason the Coyotes would not let Fischer go, and I think he would have been a big help on the right side.
I wonder why, because they let Dylan Strome go, so why didn't they let him go?
Well, because Strome went back to junior, that's why. They sent him back to junior.
Okay.
I still would have liked to see Fischer. He was not on the team last year. He had a pretty good summer camp, and he's playing pro hockey, but I guess Roslovic will suffice. Obviously, there was no chance we were getting Austin Matthews or Matthew Tkachuk or Noah Hanifin or Zach Werenski or any of those guys who were still eligible.
Yeah, no, some of those players are literally key pieces to their team, especially Zach Werenski right now.
Favorite right now, and Matthews is 15 goals.
Yeah.
I mean, there is no way those teams are going to let those go, especially Columbus. John Tortorella probably would have. You probably would have had to kill John Tortorella before you could have touched his players.
That ain't happening.
Let's just say, let's never let him coach a Team USA team ever again.
Never. No, that was
never. Coach Columbus though, but he can't coach Team USA.
I watched your podcast on the World Cup. I had the exact same thoughts.
Yeah, no, that one was a fun show because Corey Crawford belongs in the garbage where he belongs. But that's about that's the highlight from that show. Corey Crawford belongs in the garbage. But anything else we need to cover? Quick. Oh, actually, I do have a quick question here. I know I was a little absent there for a little bit, but really quick. Who is actually coaching Team USA right now?
Oh, right. That is Bob Motzko, the coach at St. Cloud State University. And he is responsible for the sort of paradigm shift in Team USA's thinking. Moscow and St. Cloud are usually a smaller, skilled, really fast team that's had some success in the NCAA tournament in the past few years, and Moscow wants to run this so he wouldn't take like the no talent grinders, and he wanted to overload it with as much speed and skill as he could.
Oh, so he didn't listen to Tortorella when that phone call came in from John. Okay.
I want to know. My question is this going to be a continued thing in the future? It better be.
I hope so.
Or is
Yeah,
it just a one-off? If the U.S. does not win, where are they going to point the plan?
If John Tortorella picks up that phone call again, it's not going to be. It will not be the. It will not be that. That will not be the outlook of that team. We'll go get some grinders again.
I mean, last year we had Ron Wilson as the coach of the team, so you can imagine how that went.
Yeah,
but we did win bronze last year. I mean, at least we medaled.
Yeah, but it should have been more. And if Kyle Connor and Connor Garland and Alex Tuck and all those guys were there, I think we would have won gold. We just couldn't score when it counted.
Okay.
Yeah, they couldn't.
Hey, that sounds like
I would say, yeah, right? Definitely sounds like Red Wings. I would say if we do happen to, I hope we don't, but if we do happen to lose this year, maybe the only excuse, honestly, will just fall on the other team just outplayed us. You know, maybe it'll be something like that where the other team was just that good. You never know. I mean,
unfortunately, in the world of social media, in the world, of,
oh, I know, I don't know that.
That's the other thing.
It doesn't do anything.
People will blame the ice for the loss. Seriously. People find a way to blame everything. The refs suck in international hockey. We know the refs suck in international hockey since international hockey started. The refs are just the refs. You can't do anything about it. I mean, that's another thing. That's another thing that I was just going to say. That's another thing that people don't realize about international hockey. Like, that's another reason why Canada struggles in this tournament. They take a lot of penalties. You can run around in the CHL or the OHL like it's a Wild West and go take people's heads off, and then you go into international hockey and you got a guy that comes in and you elbow him in the head, and now you're done for the tournament.
Yeah.
So it's like that's permitted in the OHL, I guess. It's
the best moment to me during the summer camp was when Charlie McAvoy went up to Lawson Krause of Canada and just drilled him. Beautiful hits I've ever seen. And of course, it happened against Canada, which made it even better.
Of course. But yeah, Boxing Day is going to be one for the age. It always is. It's my favorite. It's my favorite day of the year, but it's also one of those days where I'm like, I think I probably should avoid Twitter. But
we can run through the U.S.'s schedule real quick, or
yeah, if you don't mind, if you could go over Team USA schedule and then
I'll do it. I can do it.
Okay, yeah, sure. Tyler, you do it. I've talked to him.
Tyler, you have the schedule.
Okay, so I do have it in front of me. Let me pull it up real quick.
And then the only thing before Tyler starts, the only thing I want to say about him blaming the ice, this isn't Raleigh, North Carolina. You can't blame the ice except if you're playing in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Brooklyn.
Or Brooklyn. But for the most part of it, it is Raleigh, North Carolina, because they seriously did not have it. They seriously had an ice problem. But Tyler, the schedule, Team USA.
Okay, so we'll start with the first game. Obviously, the first game is Boxing Day at 7:30 p.m. Or actually, I'm sorry, I was looking at the exhibition. Okay, so the first game is Monday, Boxing Day. Obviously, obviously it's like a holiday for Canadians and starting to be a holiday for some Americans. It's against Latvia, 3:30 p.m. NHL Network. All the games can be found on NHL Network. And then Wednesday against Slovakia at 7:30. So people that work, you won't miss that one. Thursday the 29th against Russia at 3:30, also on NHL Network. And then the biggest game of the tournament, it'll probably determine whether the United States is first or second in the tournament, is Canada, obviously, 3:30 p.m. New Year's Eve. It's a tradition. Actually, it wasn't the tradition last year, but back to the regular New Year's Eve game in the Air Canada Center. It should be a big game. So
yeah, I love those New Year's Day games. So many great memories, and too bad the U.S. has fallen short in most of the most recent ones.
in a lot of them. Actually, I think the biggest one that sticks out to me is the not Austin Matthews, the Connor McDavid and Jack Eichel game, and actually, like I said, Dylan Larkin stole the show in that game. But that was a great game. That was a great game, and Canada played really well. But kudos to them. They always bring a good team.
Whenever Team USA and Team Canada meets in any kind of format, in any kind of tournament, they bring out the best in each other regardless, I feel like. So it's a win-win for all hockey fans.
Yeah, it's a good old-fashioned rivalry. What's that one that's losing, where most of the rivalries are losing their appeal in modern sports. This one definitely hasn't.
Yes, definitely. And it's not going to go away anytime soon at all either.
I agree with that for sure. That's not going away. It's like Michigan, Ohio State. You'll hate each other until the day you die, and your kids will hate them, and their kids will hate them.
All right, Tyler, settle down. We're not talking about college football here. Final thoughts on Team USA before we move on?
Really, this has to be a gold or bust mentality. I mean, we say that every year. You win gold or you don't win at all. The gold is the only medal that counts. But really, this is a year where the U.S. has all the talent in the world to win. And if they don't, it should be regarded as a national failure.
Okay, so Jake's basically putting it out there. If Team USA doesn't win, they will be shipped to Siberia after the tournament. Kayla, your final thoughts?
Obviously, I want them to win gold, and I understand Jake's point of view, definitely saying, why he believes it's definitely, gold or bust. I'm just looking at it as like the fan perspective of things. I'd be happy with any medal, definitely. I definitely want the gold, don't get me wrong. But, I don't want to be sent home early, though. I'm sick of getting sent home early. In the Olympics 4 years ago, we got sent home early. In the World Cup, we got sent home early. And it's like the World Juniors, I always say this also to hockey fans that say, well, I don't really care about the World Juniors. I always tell them, well, do you care about the Olympics? They say, yeah. And I'm like, well, this is the only time we actually have a team that could potentially win the gold medal. So you better start caring, because this is the only chance we got as of right now. So, yeah, that's all I got to really say about that.
Very, very well put. Tyler?
I'll make this short and sweet. They got a bronze last year. Usually the United States either wins gold or they don't medal at all. Mm-hmm. They got bronze last year. I mean, obviously the hope is silver and the goal – the hope is gold and what you – obviously the goal is gold. But it's not always the case. So I would say worst case scenario, silver, but obviously the goal is gold, and I think it's a possibility that they could get gold.
In the championship in the playoff era, the U.S. has a 3-1 record in gold medal games. Wins in 2004, 2010, 2013, lost in 1997. So I mean, the U.S. has a little bit of a winning streak going when they make it that far.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. There you have it. There's our first coverage of Team USA of our episode 1. We will bring you more coverage in later episodes. We're going to move on here. A little segment here. I'm basically going to ask my lovely co-host here tonight, who medals where, which 3 teams take the gold, silver, or bronze, and who will be the MVP of this tournament in your eyes? Kayla, I'm going to start with you. Who takes gold, who takes silver, who takes bronze, and who gets the MVP award?
I mean, it's honestly such a tough question because, our roster isn't even technically finalized yet. We still got cuts to make. I guess if I had to just randomly guess, I don't know.
Come on, put you on the spot. Let's go.
I'll just say USA gold. I don't know. Maybe USA gold, Sweden silver, and
Latvia brown.
Finland. I'll take Finland silver. It's not really so much putting it on the spot. It's just honestly, I'm thinking of the teams, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm gonna just say again, I'm gonna piss a lot of Canadians off. I know by saying that, but like, I don't know. I'm just going to say like USA, Sweden, Finland.
All right. USA's got the gold. Finland's got the bronze in Kayla's book.
MVP of the tournament. That's a good question. I don't know. I guess I would say. I mean, I don't think it'll happen, but I remember watching like last year, like Colin White, I believe. You know, he's a decent player. You know, he's one of those like unsung heroes, I like to say. Like he reminds me of Max Talbot in 2009 Stanley Cup Finals between the Red Wings.
Don't go there. Don't go there.
I'm not trying to. You know, he scored that goal out of nowhere, and it was kind of like out of all the players, Max Talbot. So I don't know. I kind of feel like Colin White's like one of those kind of players, you know, that gets those big goals when it counts. You know, he's not that one name that, you know, when you're going into this tournament where it's like, you know, all the attention's on him. But, you know, he's a returning player from last year. He was on last year's roster. He did solid last year. You know, I think maybe he'll be the MVP. Who knows?
Colin White, of course, scored the overtime winner in the gold medal game of the 2015 U18 tournament off the nice feed from Jeremy Bracco against Finland. I remember watching that game on Fast Hockey, now Hockey TV.
Oh, okay. So see, there you go. I mean, it's not. So would you say it's a far stretch? I
can see White is either going to be the number 1 or 2 center for the U.S. So I could.
Yeah. Okay, cool. That's my answer. So if I'm right, you know, like that's going to be pretty impressive.
I'm going to give you my taxes and my lottery tickets.
Yes.
You're going to help me out there too. Jake, I'm going to flip it over to you. Who medals where and MVP?
I know I said gold or bust, but I think Sweden's the best team in this tournament. I think they're going to win gold. I'm going to say the U.S. takes silver just to improve on last year's result. And then for the bronze, I'm going with the host nation, Canada. My MVP is Sweden's Carl Grundstrom, Toronto Maple Leaf draft pick, and the center on what will be the best line in the tournament.
All right, a quick question, and Tyler, I will get to you, but just since Jake brought up Team Sweden as the best team, are there any Lindstroms playing on this team or no?
No, the U.S. has a Lindgren, but
Okay, no, I'm just curious, you know, if like the Lindstroms have taken over Sweden yet or not. So they're not there yet. Okay, I was just curious. Tyler, your medal teams and MVP.
I know a lot of people call me negative and this and that and the other thing, and I'm totally okay with that. I'm totally okay with that.
Because you are negative.
I don't mind being negative Nelly. But in this instance, I mean, I've said before that win this tournament every single year, and there shouldn't be a question because they have the most talent most years, and even when they don't, they have the best coaching, they have the best everything. They basically fund the entire tournament. Mm-hmm. I mean, it should be Canada, but I think this year, the United States gets it done with the firepower that they have at gold. I think the Russians, Ilya Samsonov, is the silver, and Russia's the silver medalist, and I think the Swedes they're too good to not medal, so they get the bronze. And I think the MVP of the tournament is, if Canada wins, Dylan Strome. If the United States wins, I would say I'm going to say McAvoy just because I'm a BU guy.
I mean, you could go with him, or you could go with Clayton Keller.
Clayton Keller. Yeah, exactly. Or Clayton Keller. But if the Russians were to win, I would say Ilya Samsonov. Even if the Russians don't win and he steals that entire tournament and they get to the gold medal game and lose to the United States, I think it would be cool to see the United States get the monkey off their back in Russia and Ilya Samsonov still win the MVP of the tournament.
I just want to say how much I am a fan of Clayton Keller. Keller was the MVP at the 2016 U18s when the U.S. won bronze in Grand Forks, North Dakota. I think he almost made this team last year, last cut. I think Arizona fans really got something in him, and I think he's going to be really good for a long time. And he's still eligible for next year's tournament, which is great.
Yeah, and right now he's doing well with the Terriers, so that's good.
Alrighty, as Tyler's love for BU continues. We're gonna jump ahead here before we wrap up the.
Oh,
What just happened?
I think Max just kind of disappeared.
I think he's just gonna have to join back.
Should we just wait until?
Yeah, just give him a minute.
No, we're good. Yeah, we're live.
Hey, at least no one else joined in uninvited.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, that's definitely for certain.
You know, one thing I'm going to be interested in this year, if Caleb Jones does make the team, if he makes the cut, you know, do you think he's going to have like a bunch of pressure on him, like thinking, oh man, you know, because his brother Seth, you know, like he won the gold medal. Like, I'm always interested in stories like that.
I have no idea what happened. I apologize.
Okay, exactly.
Answering Kayla's question.
I have no
I
idea.
mean, I think there's going to be, you know, some family pressure, but we know Caleb isn't Seth. And I say this with all due respect to Caleb as a player. But he is not going to be the defenseman to carry the U.S. this year. That was McAvoy.
Right. Yeah, I see your point, definitely. I just always find it, like, it's fun. It's a fun storyline. I don't know, whenever you see, like, other family members, you know, playing, and to see, like, oh, are they going to, like, you know, be able to pull off what their sibling did?
Yeah. Well, Casey Fitzgerald and Matthew Tkachuk are cousins, so.
Kind of
yeah,
like
that's right.
Matthew
Tkachuk was my favorite player, hands down, at last year's tournament.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, he was tied for the team leading scorer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm back now. Sorry about that. Really quick, right before we wrap this up, I'm gonna ask everybody favorite World Juniors moment. I guess since you started watching. So Jake, as you are our guest, you may go first.
All right. My favorite moment, January 5th, 2010, in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. The U.S. had lost their preliminary round game to Canada in a shootout. So they faced them again. Canada had won 5 straight gold medals. And, you know, both teams with goalie changes. Jordan Eberle scores 2 to tie the game in the last minute for Canada, tied at 5. And in overtime, with, like, the crowd really in for Canada, Jack Campbell makes the save. The puck goes to John Carlson. 3-on-2 with Derek Stepan and John Ramage. Carlson, instead of looking at the goal, he looks at Derek Stepan, shoots the puck, and scores the overtime winner to give the U.S. The title. And I'm just going to remember that for my entire life, and as the moment when I really got into this tournament. Man, that was a great. That's even though 2013 was a better team, 2010 is my favorite team because you know they were the first team I saw win.
All right, that's legitimate answer. I'll take it. Kayla, your favorite memory?
I'm going to say it's not so much. I mean, obviously, when Team USA wins gold, it's always a favorite memory. But other than Team USA, it's definitely in 2012. Was it 2012 and 2013, I believe, or 2011, 2012 with Peter Mrazek?
Yeah, the celebration after the goal.
Yeah, his when Peter Mrazek was making those saves and he was celebrating like crazy. I mean, I find out that he's a Red Wings, prospect. That's the first thing I find out about this guy, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. Again, I'm a goalie girl, I can't help it. So I'm like, okay, you know, he's got some swagger to him. I like this guy. I like his attitude, you know. And then I'm watching the game though, and he's going freaking nuts. He's literally like so berserk. I've never seen a goalie act that completely crazy. I mean, he's bouncing off the boards. He's like pretty much dancing on ice after making these saves, and he's feeding into the crowd. And it was in Canada, and I loved it. I loved every second of it. That definitely I would say is like my favorite moment, just because now he's playing with the Red Wings. He might not be having as great of a year as I hope he's having, but I think he can get back on track. But I mean, ever since I saw him back in those in that tournament that year, I was like, wow, this guy's going to be something. This guy's going to be amazing. That memory, it stood out to me, and it's going to like last with me till the day I die, I want to say.
So on Kayla's tombstone, it will be James Neal Lover, Peter Mrazek dance moves. All right.
Yes, definitely.
Tyler, your favorite World Juniors memory?
I have two.
All right, you can have two.
I have to be different than everyone. Okay, so 2013 obviously is probably my favorite because it's the closest one. And just I remember waking up before school to watch those games. I remember basically losing sleep on school, or basically like jeopardizing my school or my sleeping schedule, like on winter break, just to watch those games. And like it was in Ufa, Russia, but it was like the only hockey we had.
Yeah.
So like I mean, it was awesome. It was awesome watching those teams. And I just remember like Johnny Gaudreau and Jimmy Vesey were like they were so like timid at first in this in the tournament, like against, I want to say, the Russians and against Canada in the preliminary. They lost both of those games, and then all of a sudden they got hot. Jimmy Vesey's dangling people, Johnny Gaudreau's toe dragging and scoring goals. Like that team was so fun to watch, and it's probably going to go down as one of the best Team USA's ever. Like he said, a lot of those players have ended up in the NHL. And then just another one of my favorite memories. I know the United States lost the game, but it was the 2007 Team USA, Team Canada shootout game. It was overseas, so it was really late at night. But it was Carey Price, Jonathan Taves, Patrick Kane, basically. And it was Jonathan, and I believe Jeff Frazee was in the net for
Bad memories, Gopher fan here.
I believe Jeff Frazee was in the net for the United States, and it was just crazy. I mean, it was Jonathan Taves against Patrick Kane. Who knew that those guys would be Chicago Blackhawks superstars? For years to come after that. So I thought that was cool. And then I mentioned before the Connor McDavid Jack Eichel game will probably go down as one of the best Team USA Team Canada games, even though we fell short.
Yeah, and also another one I'd like to add is when John Tavares scored the hat trick after the U.S. went up 3-0. Canada ended up winning that one 7-4 on New Year's Eve. And, until I'm an Islander fan, until the Islanders drafted Tavares, I hated him from that moment.
Fair enough.
If I can add one more, I do have.
Yes, you have to, Kayla, because Tyler had like 5.
Everyone else did. I would say it was 2 years ago. Even though when Team USA lost, it was Dylan Larkin, and they lost for some reason. Russia's just had our number for. I mean, actually, I do know the reason. It's that karma for the whole 1980 thing. But anyway, they lost to Russia, and it was like the final moments of the game. We knew we were going to lose, and what does Dylan Larkin do? He just decides to just, raise some hell. He starts pushing the Russian players around, getting in their face. He's taking a few swings at them, I mean, it was just, even though they lost or whatever, I just thought it was very entertaining because it was like, yeah, you know what? We lost, but let's go out in style. Let's go out, being remembered for something. And again, he's another Red Wing, player. And I'm like, this is awesome. Then I remember they gave him like the little box with the little trophy in it because he was like the best player like in the game or whatever. And he's just looking at the box like, I don't really care about this box. Like, if you go back and you watch that video, like, you'll see his facial expression. Like, I don't care about this box. I just lost. Like, I'm mad. Yeah, that's another favorite moment, I would say.
Update on that pre-tournament game. The U.S. wins 4-3 over Switzerland on goals by Jeremy Bracco, Joey Anderson, Jack Roslovic, and Tage Thompson. So, I mean, that's a good start.
It's a good start.
It is a good start.
Looks like the Swiss are going to be a tough team.
Yeah, they scored 2 in the third. Their last goal came with 8 seconds left. It was a little too late.
Yeah.
So here's one other thing I want to add to this tournament. Not about my favorite memories or anything, but like you said, the Tavares one was incredible. Braden Shen as well. But the biggest thing about this tournament that like my dad always taught me, like when I was a kid, like even like growing up watching this tournament, is like even after you win like a preliminary round game, you stand on that blue line and your national anthem is going if you win that game. Mm-hmm. And even if it's a preliminary game, you still get a box. You still get, I believe when they were in UFA, they got like those metal plates or whatever it was. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, such about money and such about this. And I love the NHL, don't get me wrong, but it's cool to watch this because these guys appreciate, even if they lose the game, they appreciate, sitting there and, accepting whatever it is. I don't know. It's just appreciated. It's a lot of sportsmanship that goes on in the tournament. Yeah, the refs are horse shit, but no, they really are. But I mean, other than that, the tournament's great. I don't have any bad words about it.
All right.
I'm really excited to get this thing started. Obviously, I'm even more excited for next year when it's hosted in the U.S. again. But this is a year I think the U.S. can really do some damage and really put together one of their all-time great teams and end up with gold. So I'm hoping that will happen.
I want this U.S. team to set an example for, the future U.S. teams. And I'm not even talking about the World Juniors. I'm just talking about in general. Set an example. You put your best players available out there. Put the best players available out there. No more, beating around the bush. No more putting the biggest guys out there. It's not working. So.
Nope.
Alrighty, that will do it for our first episode of Team USA World Junior coverage. Jake, thank you. You were a guest tonight, and I know Kayla and Tyler will say this as well, but thank you very much for joining us. We greatly appreciate you coming on and taking time out of your night to talk Team USA with us. So thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, it was a pleasure to be here. For those of you who don't follow me and are watching this, I'm on Twitter at Baskincase, BASKINCASE. I write about hockey. Most of my tweets are about hockey, so I think you can find something worth reading my tweets for.
Jake, throw your USA account out there.
Oh yeah, I also am trying to start a prospects account for guys who are not in the NHL, who could be integral members of Team USA's in the future. That one is at Future USA Hockey. I still need to flesh some things out, but I've enjoyed doing it, and as the draft comes closer and as the World Juniors goes on and other tournaments, I will be there to cover it.
Well, we will gladly bring you back, but I just want to say thank you once again for joining us. We appreciate you coming on. Yeah. Kayla, Twitter handle shout out time.
All righty. It's follow me at K Loves Red Wings, LUVS for the loves. And I just want to say, Jake, it was very, very awesome to have you on again. I just don't know how you even have all that knowledge in your brain. It's insane to me. But I mean, it is so amazing. And you're definitely welcome anytime. And I'm really glad you took the time out of your night to come on. Thank you.
Yeah, no, it was fun. Anytime I can talk hockey is a great night.
Tyler.
Yeah, Jake, thanks for joining us. I really appreciate it. It was good talking to you, USA Hockey, and everything. I really appreciate you taking time out of your night, especially around the holidays where a lot of people are just spending time with their family, me included. But it's always great when you can talk some USA Hockey because the fans. I'm not saying it comes few and far between, but it's good to see with people that know what they're talking about. So I really do appreciate you coming on. You can follow me on Twitter at LarkinSanity. You can also follow at the Winged Octopus on Twitter at Winged Octopus. We're also on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're probably on Snapchat too. Who knows?
Don't forget the MySpace.
Oh yeah, the MySpace and the Tumblr and everything else, right?
Tumblr and the LinkedIn, because that's how we roll. You can follow me. I am Max, your host as always, the hostess with the mostest. Swedish Mafia 40. I know Tyler's super excited for this, but the Twitter handle will be changing come the New Year's Day Centennial Classic. I know Tyler's super excited to finally debut this Twitter handle. You can also follow our other admin, Matt Lowry at TrueBlue21. You can also subscribe to us. Please do at YouTube, Winged Octopus, or also Google Play and iTunes. Just type in Winged Octopus. We are both there. Please check us out. Please leave any comments. We'd like to improve, or if you liked it, let us know. We appreciate that. Yeah, talk to us. Don't let Kayla keep obsessing over James Neal and Peter Mrazek. Besides that, this is the end of episode 1. We'll be back here probably within a week to 10 days for episode 2 as we get closer to this tournament and coverage.
Hey, if you want to have me on next time, I am willing to participate again.
Alrighty, Jake's already on board. Jake's on board for game
He's all ready.
round 2. I hope he's ready for it. From our family here at Winged Octopus to yours out there, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, everyone. Please stay safe. Enjoy the time with your family. Some of us, like myself, are going to be working. So my family is a bottle of rum and Rogue One as many times as I possibly can get through in the weekend. So besides that, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, everybody. Go Team USA. And don't worry, we got Red Wing coverage coming up on Friday. God help us. I don't know how we're going to do it now. But anyway, go Team USA. Have a good night, everybody.
Merry Christmas. Go USA.
Go USA. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
USA. USA. That's